Hey everybody, welcome back to Spelunky 2. First run of the week here, and hopefully actually endeavoring to get a little aubergine goodness now. We're gonna continue going with the, pretty much the same strategy we've been doing over and over, which is, I mean, if we get the chance to get an early eggplant, I think if we see shop and altar on the same floor, you don't look a gift eggplant in the mouth. I will also have you know, I went to the grocery store for the first time since Spelunky 2 Gex. This is genuine. I went to the grocery store for the first time since Spelunky 2 Gex on Friday night. No anecdotes, unfortunately. But my wife was like, we need olive oil and we need oat milk. So I was like, you know what? You know what that means? We need olive oatmeal, or olive oil, oat milk, and an eggplant. But my glasses were so fogged up that when I went to the grocery store, and I've never purchased an eggplant before. I've eaten them as components of dishes that people have made for me, or you know, like in a restaurant, for example. But I've never actually purchased an eggplant. I literally, because my glasses were so fogged, I grabbed one that felt like it has the right consistency of an eggplant. But then when I got home and I managed to defog my glasses, I was like, I'm pretty sure this is not the color eggplants are supposed to be. It's like it's such a dark purple that it's basically black, and then with the little leaves on top that I'm pretty sure are supposed to be relatively green are pretty much just they look like desiccated brown. So I don't know, maybe it's the right color and I'm just so used to seeing eggplant in emoji form that I don't know what it's supposed to look like anymore. That's normal. Okay, good to know. That's normal and you're emoji poisoned. I'll take it. I'm not saying I see a lot of eggplant emojis. I'm just saying I see more in an emoji context is when I see eggplants 99% of the time now. Because of all this work from home, I see way more man shrugging emoji than I see a man shrugging in real life. It's like that, but with eggplants. Okay, so we do have a present. We do not have an altar, I think, so we're just gonna simmer this one for a bit. But anyway, yeah, so it's never I'm not afraid to take a bite of a raw eggplant. I've eaten some gross stuff in my life, and a raw eggplant, oh, you son of a... It's literally just a vegetable. It doesn't even enter into my mind that that it would even be a punishment. The fact that Dan, I recognize I'm very late on getting the punishment for this Gex done. The fact that Dan just cooked his into a delicious looking dish, it almost offends me a little bit. Oh, hey. I'm that doesn't count. It's fine, if you don't want to do it, I'm not gonna force you to do it. But the idea that you did it by cooking a delicious, you know, eggplant-based entree does not count. And I think he hoped that I would just never do it, because then he would be saved from the shame. It was, and again, I'm not playing my best Spelunky here. I'll level with you. But I also, I don't want to out Dan. You know, people like what they like, they don't like what they don't like. But even when we were talking about the punishment, he was like, how about for punishment, we, eat an eggplant? And I was like, raw? And he was like, no, just, at all. And I'm like, it's not a punishment. It's I don't like eggplant, but it's just matter, you know? It's edible vegetable matter. Everybody... It's not a punishment to, eat a food that probably most people enjoy. It's just weird. Especially, if he had just, baked an eggplant and ate it, that's not, the predominant way to consume it, right? So I can understand maybe you'd be like, oh, it needs seasoning, this sucks, but, you know, to actually, make a dish out of it, it's not punishment. It's just, that's just a meal. Okay, I desperately need this HP because I'm bad. Dude, I do not enjoy the taste of eggplant. But even still, like, I would rather eat the eggplant. Like, you recognize that, like, for whatever, I forget what Gex it was. I guess it was Warzone. When we lost in Warzone, we ate, like, 10 or 8 jelly beans that could taste like vomit. I ate, like, 6 jelly beans in a row that tasted like boogers. That's so much worse than eating an eggplant. Like, it's not bad at all. The bright red soup with the hot dogs in it, even. So here's the thing. That's a bit called. Well, it's a meal called burejjigae, and it's a Korean kind of like traditional. I mean, traditional as of like the 1950s, I guess. Soup that I do not enjoy. I mean, we shouldn't even get into this because it just bothers people that this is how I choose to live my life. We have like a Korean food delivery service. So, like, it comes with the stuff. We don't really get to control what comes. More burejjigae is coming this week. And I'm like, okay, let's try it again. Like, if we could just not put the baked beans in it this time, I think that would make it easier. And then maybe when I start to enjoy it, we can put the baked beans back in. You know, like, let's lower that barrier to entry first and then figure it out. By the way, Cool Seal, oh my god. Cool Seal, thank you for the gifted subscriptions. Apparently there is a jetpack in there. I suppose I should probably take a look at that. It is like the best item in the game. Are baked beans even good? I hear you, you know, like, I love beans. Like red beans, kidney beans, black beans, navy beans, butter beans, garbanzo beans. Baked beans is not the beans are bad. I just hate like the weird sauce they're put in. I'm much more of like an au naturel sort of bean guy. That's my take on it. It's not like, no, it's not just tomato sauce, because it's not like tomato sauce. I mean, it's a tomato-based sauce, but it's not what we would traditionally call, you know, like if you put the sauce from baked beans on a pizza, you would be like, get out, right? It's like because I don't know, maybe it's like it might be a Canadian thing or like a, you know, Commonwealth thing, but they do like the maple syrup baked beans. I am not for them. But again, they're edible food, right? Like I think that almost any food can be almost for anybody. You just gotta be exposed to it enough that it no longer tastes weird, like it just tastes normal. That's my take, and I think there's noted exceptions, but we can't go into this again because it's like one of the topics that makes people so angry is when they're like, no, I have a genetic predisposition to hate all vegetables, and I'm like, I used to think that until I tried them a lot, and they're like, it's different for me, and I'm like, maybe, and then it gets like, it always gets so cerebral. Oh, so should somebody in life ever intentionally eat things that they don't love to cause themselves harm? And I'm like, we don't have to go all the way to that. You know, I'm just saying. There's a lot of foods that, oh my god, it's a huge ice ball. There's a lot of foods I'm glad I went through the trouble to learn how to like. There's a lot of foods that I've tried and I still haven't gotten there. Like, I still don't really enjoy mushrooms. But there are times now. I've gone from, like, never enjoying them. So not worth it. Just be smarter. I've gone from never enjoying them to enjoying them now and then in some certain context. And then there's foods I thought I hated. And then when I had them, like, more frequently, I realized, like, actually, this is, like, one of my favorite vegetables. Like, I love cauliflower now. Because I've been doing, like, YouTube for a long time. You can probably go back and find videos where I'm like, oh, it's black market, dude. That's too early. You can probably go back and find videos where I, like, insult cauliflower by calling it, like, isn't it just, like, worse broccoli? Well, it's not better broccoli. Broccoli's also pretty sick. But it's good. I don't know, I don't have anything more than that to say. There's context where like you would never do like an aloo gobi or something like that. I don't know. The idea of doing it with broccoli, I'd probably try it, but it just doesn't seem right, you know? Okay, so it's gonna be right here. Okay, that it's gonna be right there-ish. Oh, I see the freaking. All right. That's fine. You know, we shouldn't have even tried to approach it from that angle. Should have done it like that. And we don't really need the freeze ray. We're gonna get the bow and arrow and probably like a floor anyway. Probably should get the child of the forest, but yeah, I mean I don't know. Here's the thing, you know, you can like be a picky eater. And I shouldn't say more on it, because again, people get very mad, even though I'm coming from the position of having been a picky eater. You can be a picky eater, but when people are like, you know, you should occasionally try foods you think you don't like, just to see if maybe you like them now, don't get mad. Like, that's praxis. That's how it's done. You might be like a genetically picky eater, you know, I don't know your whole life story. I'm merely suggesting that I don't believe that that's the norm for everybody. Okay, this is a thinking man's endeavor. Okay, we probably want bombs, despite the fact that we're hopefully going to get all the children of the forest as well. Let's get this child of the forest first, and then we'll think about it. I will try baked beans again. I mean, when we get this soup, maybe I'll have a little spoonful of baked beans. But it's really, like, I even acknowledge that it might seem hypocritical, but it's really not. Most of the foods that I dislike irrationally. Like, I can't even describe why I don't like baked beans. Like, if you can't describe why you dislike a food without saying, like, it's just weird, then, you know. Again, I'm not saying you have to eat them for every meal and punish yourself. I'm just saying that there might be some space there to explore for the future. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm gonna buy bombs anyway. We got climbers. It's very good. We can afford the bombs. I would like Monty as well, but, you know, rip to people that need to buy HP, but I'm just built different. I also kind of feel like, I don't know, I have strong opinions about food, obviously. But, like, one of the things I was thinking of yesterday, like, so, I went to Subway, and I got lunch for Kate and myself, right? And when I was coming back, I looked at the, because Kate wanted, oh, I gotta pay you. I bought a juice for Kate from Subway, and, on the juice, it said, like, you know, don't worry if the juice doesn't look right, basically. Separation of ingredients is natural. And I thought, like, I don't know, maybe most people would take this as kind of like a harmless statement, which I guess it is. But for me, I was like, man, how did we get to a point? I'm not like a natural, like, raw food guy, obviously. But how did we get to a point where you have to explain to people that when food looks like it's supposed to look, that's how it's supposed to look? And, like, you know, Tropicana looks like pure bright orange because of the processing, you know? Like, how badly did we get screwed by... Maybe this is a little bit overly intense, but I'm like, how badly did we get screwed by, like, the food corporations and culture of, like, the 1950s or whatever, that, you know, when food is unprocessed, we're like, I don't know, it doesn't look right. It's not even just like, no, it's not even at all like anti-capitalism, really. It's more like, because I feel like in like the 1900s, like, you know, like the year 1900, people were eating like, you know, meat, vegetable. But then like around like the 1940s, 1950s, people got like addicted to like canned meats, and like you can put this hey, you don't need to get fresh vegetables anymore because you can just, you know, get canned corn and stuff like that. It's so convenient. And now we're like coming back in the other direction where, you know, if you went to somebody's house and they like opened up a can of green beans to try to serve you, I mean, you would probably eat it if you're being polite, but you would also be like, canned green beans? You know, you can just like buy them in the uncanned variety. They don't have like a weird hot juice in them when you when you bite in, they don't squirt like, you know, weird hot can water all over your mouth. I don't know, man. It's just, I mean, I didn't take it any further than that, but I was just thinking, I was like, it's crazy that like if you run like an organic juice company, first off, I want to know what your margins are, because it's like it's more expensive per ounce than printer ink, which is like crazy, but that's why I started drinking printer ink. But it's crazy. You gotta be like so mad that people are like, I wanted to drink the juice, but it had like a weird film on it, and you're like, yeah, that weird film is like the fruit. That's from the orange. When you just put water and like citric acid and orange food coloring in the same vat and then mix it together, of course it comes out and it's just like this uniform orange goo. Anyway, I've made a lot of enemies in the orange juice industry. We don't need to go back down this road yet again. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Royal jelly represents a chance to make up for all of our HP-related mistakes. We got 16 bombs. We're soon to have 28, all other things being equal. If we could just kill the queen bee, this run has a chance. Not necessarily a chance to get the eggplant, though. Okay, I mean, do it. I'll buy another bomb box, absolutely. I just need the queen bee not to accidentally blow up the secret shop. We have spike shoes. There you go. That's what you do there. This is a rich beehive, man. That's okay. That's okay. We're just playing it cool. That's what we're looking for. Oh, mama! Oh, okay. We got it. It's a bit spooky here, right? Like, maybe it's just me. It seems like a larger beehive than I'm used to. Here's a question for you. Being logged off, like, mostly from the internet for a day, I came up with a lot of good ideas. So here's the first question that I have is honey sticky for bees, or do bees have, like, a cool, like, foot adaptation that allows them to not get stuck by the honey in the honey holes? You know what I mean? I mean, obviously, like, on a physical level, honey is sticky. But are bees able to traverse it? Again, you would be surprised, but is honey sticky for bees? Not something that's traditionally covered within the undergraduate degree program, in biology at least. And then I also... Here's something I was thinking of, and it wouldn't surprise me if this idea already exists, okay? The concept, and this is a little, like, some people are not going to like what I'm about to say here, okay? But I'm not saying it's the truth, but it's my genuine opinion. I will almost never buy a frozen pizza unless Kate gives me the okay first, because it just is, like, possibly the most depressing meal you could eat for yourself. We're okay. We just needed to make it out of the ghost here, because the ghost is, like, 2 seconds away. Terrible take. A frozen pizza is a pretty depressing meal to me, because it's not, I mean, it's cheap, yes, but it's not even like good pizza. Like, it's at the intersection of, like, not that delicious, and also bad for you. And it's also like there's like a ratio of, like, legal serving size to what people actually eat. And I say this myself. you know, like the frozen pizza, if you look at the back of the frozen pizza, it legitimately says like serves 4. And you're like, no it doesn't. No it doesn't. It serves like, it serves 1. It probably should serve 4. And I'm not talking about in terms of the mass of the pizza. I'm talking about the serving size is like cut into quarters and then divide amongst your family. And you're like, no, I'm gonna cut it in half. I'm gonna eat half, and then I'm gonna tell myself I'm gonna save half. Then in like an hour, I'm going to eat half of the remaining half. And then before bed, I'm gonna be like, what am I gonna do? Save 1 piece of pizza? I might as well just eat the last one, right? So anyway, so that's why I think it's kind of like a sad meal. However, because it's not even like, the pizza doesn't taste good. Now, the flip side is, you know, if you buy a frozen pizza and it's like, you know, $2.50 or something like that, that's cheaper than getting a half-decent real pizza delivered from like Domino's or something like that, right? Regardless, I thought like, I'll never buy a frozen pizza because it's just too much of like a commitment to sadness. And I recognize that it's more of a me problem. However, what if they sold frozen pizza slices? Like a really big slice of pizza that you could put in your oven, and after like, you know, 10 minutes, it would be, you'd have like a New York style frozen pizza slice that's just huge. That's more depressing. It is not more depressing to eat a slice of pizza out of the oven. If a slice of pizza out of the oven is almost like ooh, fancy. I'm not talking about a tiny little slice. I'm talking about a big slice. Eating a pizza slice by yourself is culture. Eating an entire frozen pizza by yourself is a sign that you need to talk to somebody, in my opinion. This is a weird one. I'm just saying, man. I think this is a good idea. I think you could totally make a frozen food product that's just a big slice of pizza. I hate that you're right. One person said it must be true. I'm telling you, I think there's a market for it. If I was in a convenience store, or not a convenience store, if I was in a grocery store, and there was like, I was in the frozen food aisle, and there was like, you know, an entire frozen pizza, and then there was like, hey, pizza by the slice, authentic, New York, just pop it in your oven for 8 minutes and it's good to go. I'd be more likely to give the latter a try than a former. Yeah, because I mean, I guess I am operating on the perception, and it's not necessarily true, but I'm operating on the perception that the demographic that buys most of the frozen pizzas in North America are not buying them and feeding them to a family. They're buying them and then taking them home, putting them in the oven, and then eating the whole pizza by themselves. Which again, that's my demo, for one, and secondarily, I've done it myself many a time. I'm just saying, man. Bachelor Chow pizza. Tony's authentic New York pizzeria slice. Hey! Did your wife leave you and take the kids? Too much self-respect to eat frozen pizza for some whole frozen pizza? Here's a single slice, comes hot out of the oven, just like it does with my pizzeria in Brooklyn. Give it a try, man. I'm telling you, it could work. It could work. No, they wouldn't. I mean, cauliflower pizza? I don't know. Maybe. I mean, I'm not against cauliflower pizza. I don't know if it fits the marketing that I want for this specific product, but I think that, I don't know. Is there, I have to, I mean, obviously the products exist, but I haven't looked at the meeting minutes from the companies that make them. I wonder what overlap there is in the frozen pizza but carb smart category. I have to imagine like it's not that high. That most people who are very concerned about their carbohydrate intake probably just don't buy as much frozen pizza as the average person, you know? That's my take on it, at least. I could be wrong. What do I'm just one consumer, you know? Oh my god, the shopping world would be a much worse place if it were, if I was the only kind of consumer on Earth. You know, like how people will go to like Cuba and take a photo of the grocery store where there's like only one brand of paper towel and, you know, like, you know, basmati rice and stuff like that and be like, wow, this is so sad. I look at that and I'm like, yo, that owns. I don't have to comparison shop. I don't have to look at the price per gram for this versus this, and oh, maybe, oh, I'm paralyzed by choice because, you know, the Goya baked beans might be better than the Bush baked beans, even though they're from the same farm. Instead, I'll just be like, you just go to the grocery store and it's like, beans. Got 'em. Next, bread. Understood. We got it completely under control. I don't get too paralyzed by choice as it is, but... Alright, this run, I mean, there's no way to know if it's an aubergine attempt, but... We'll find out on our next floor, hopefully. Yeah, No Name brand is sick, man. Like, No Name is like... it's actually maybe... I'm being completely sincere. It might be the Canadian brand that has like the most likability. I bet if you did a survey of Canadians and asked them like, hey, what do you associate like with these brands? Canadians would, at least 80% plus, would be like, I have a positive association with No Name. Like, they're cheap. Usually cheaper than the name brand, which is the point, I guess. But they're also like good. PC is way better. I don't disagree necessarily. I just haven't been to a President's Choice grocery store in so long. We don't have Loblaws here. We have like the real Canadian Superstore, but it's like, I've been in them, but usually it's like at Metro Town, and I'm not used to having like that amount of people around me. I'm like, I gotta get out of this store as soon as possible. But I do hear from people that real Canadian Superstore is like one of the best Canadian grocery stores for quality meeting relatively low price. You might have seen the ads. That's how you shop like a mother. Like a mother. Well, I mean, you probably haven't seen them if you're, you know, outside of Canada, but... Yoink! No! Come on! Really? Are you kidding me? That's alright, we can still do an eggplant run. We can't, well, I guess, hold on, what's the problem? Oh, yeah, okay, we can't fight the turtle, but we could still, in theory, get the eggplant. Oh, but you need the eggplant to go to the final world! I guess we could just do the Ankh skip. Justice for frozen pizza. Glunk. Anyway. Excuse me. This, I mean, it was a great run until disaster struck. So that's my robust thoughts on every Canadian grocery store chain. An altar? Let me out. Dude, where the heck is the subs? Hey, where the heck is the subspace, dude? Thought it was over here. Canadian grocery store tier list? No, because like at the end of the day... Oh, this isn't lava floor. This is Excalibur floor. I'm stupid. At the end of the day, the single best competitive grocery or advantage that a grocery store can have is being close to where I live. So like, that's not really fair criticism, I'll admit. This is eggplant floor. Really? Hold on, but how? Is there a present? Cause of the fish. Okay, yeah. There is a present. Okay, we're probably gonna die trying to make this happen. That's a good start. Hello. This is what we're looking for. Oh, okay. Help me. Oh my god, I stuck the wrong fish, dude. Wrong fish died. I don't think we're gonna have enough time to get Kapala, but we do at least have eggplant chances. We gotta do the onk skip with the eggplant. Does it still do that? Squam, squammy doo doo. Oh, nah, frick. little spooky. Things are getting spooky. Do-do-do-do-do-do. Okay, we are now holding the eggplant for the first time in the aubergine saga. Now we must do the eggplant skip by finding the subspace. Torquay? Which means we should probably just drop it off. Just be cool. Nailed it. I want the HP. Probably should have gotten Excalibur now that I think about it. No, but we can't carry Excalibur and the eggplant simultaneously. Okay, never mind. You had me fooled for a second there. We're gonna have to kill the turtle in the most annoying way possible. I guess we could have had hired help carry the eggplant, but that's like, you're playing with fire at that point. I'm not saying it can't be done. I'm just saying it's a little spicy. So instead, we could just carry the turtle. Or, we not carry the turtle. Carry the eggplant, do the onk skip, and then throw 10 bombs at the turtle and then whip him 200 times. Something like that. No, there's no point in leaving the eggplant because we don't have the onk, so... Like, if we die, we're gonna die anyway, right? Okay, I don't know. This is not a great one. This one might be a little tough. Like, I think it's probably possible. But I'm not... And it's also dead center. Which is like way worse. I don't know. We'll give it a try. Pretty sure this is close to a guaranteed rip though. Like, how are we gonna get out of this? Great question. So check this out. Check this out. That's, believe it or not, that is what I wanted. I wanted a little canopy. Now we have to grab this, throw it, and then get the jetpack. Or the eggplant, I should say. There's no point in throwing those ropes out there because they're just gonna get destroyed by the lava. And what now? Well, this is the part that I thought maybe if we just threw ropes extremely quickly, we'd be able to make it out, but I don't think that's going to be the case. It's alright, it was a good try. I'm not upset about that one. Getting the, I mean, the way that we lost the onk, not literally unpredictable, but pretty unpredictable. That's progress. In my world, that's progress. I can live with that. There's a 3-rope onk skip we can teach you for later. Please do. Once we get the chance, we'll make it back. Already done better than we did on like Friday's attempts. So I'm feeling pretty juiced up. I'm gonna stop you right there. I completely believe that there is a great video that explains all this. I also give you approximately a 0% chance that I am going to watch it. Instead, just, if you could, like, we want to do the Ty Lopez method here, right? So instead of, like, reading a book, I just want you to read the book and then give me, like, a 15-second synopsis of its most important lessons. Did you know there's an app? I don't even know if the app is, I'm not even necessarily suggesting it's a negative, but there's an app, it's called, like Blink Geyser or something like that. It's something to do with Blink, but it's not the tech company known as Blink. And Blinkist, there it is. And it's like, it's a subscription service that's like audio Spark Notes or Cliff Notes, depending on how old you are. So instead of like reading books, which takes forever, you could force multiply the amount of information that you get by instead just getting a synopsis of what these important books say. I don't even really have an opinion on it being negative. It's very easy though to look at it and be like, you know, what's the problem with reading a book? Like, where did we go wrong? But it's an interesting concept for sure. There's literally like it's less for fiction. At least that's my understanding. It's not really meant to be like, hey, Game of Thrones is too long. Here's a synopsis, right? Oh, that could have been scary. It's more like, hey, you don't want to read like, you know, the 7 habits of highly affected people or whatever. Highly effective people, I suppose. Then you can just listen to the 40-second preview instead. Okay, this is like pretty cursed, but I'm very smart, as you can tell. But even then, we still gotta bomb our way up through here. I'll use another rope. This is a, like, messy floor, dude. I'll use another rope. First habit is don't read book synopses. I don't know. I'm not a synopsis guy. I look down on the reading of synopsis, but I guess I can see it being useful. I would not subscribe to the service myself, I think, because I already subscribe to Audible. Use audible.ca/NL for 5% off your first credit. I forgot to ring the bell! It's okay. The run will be forever cursed as a result. Whoops. Okay. Spike shoes. Dude, free spike shoes? Nothing wrong with that. Free spike shoes, dude. Nothing wrong with that. We do have a problem. We have no bombs and 1 rope. But it's only a problem if we have no bombs and 1 rope when we actually need either of those resources. For now, we'll just say we've got a very low bomb yield. NL, I didn't know about free Epic games until your post this week. Yeah, I mean, you know, you gotta find some way to compete when you got a company like Steam that controls so much of the market. Epic, they give out a lot of free games. Not all of them are really that compelling, I'll be honest, but some of them are really good. Like, I made that tweet about Crying Sons. That's a great game. I didn't play as much of it as I wanted to, but when I played it on stream, everybody was like, this game is sweet. And then when I saw that it was free, I was like, I'll make a tweet about this, no problem. I even sometimes, like, I'll load up the store and just download the free game, even if I've never heard of it, because it only takes like 1 second and then it's in your library forever. And it's called Stonks, sweetheart. Just a single crate. Just a single crate, Yang, would have been worth it. Crying Sun stream soon? No, absolutely not. Great game, don't get me wrong. But no, probably not showing up on stream anytime soon. I'm realizing, like, this is let's not. I'm hesitant to even talk about this because anytime you talk about any form of change, people are like, change, that's negative. But even like, I noticed, I did the Monster Train stream on Friday, and it was fine. But like, you have to note, like, the analytics for the stream were okay, but they weren't that good. And then also, like, it was at the peak of interest, right? Which was the more telling part for me, which was like, the new DLC's coming out. Here's a little bit of a preview for a game that so many people are familiar with. And even still, the reaction was kind of like, this is fun, but it's not like, really that compelling. So I think it's less like, let's go. Black market is what I was going to say. Let's go to the black market. Definitely was not trying to get to Volcana, and then was saved. And it's not a knock on Monster Train at all, and it's not like, oh, you gotta chase trends or whatever. But I really do. I think I have the inverted opinion of analytics that a lot of people have that are not YouTube creators or Twitch streamers. Like, I think a lot of people see something getting low analytics as a source of pride. And then if you ever do anything influenced by the fact that it does better numbers, you're like automatically a sellout, and you should just continually do the thing that performs worse to begin with, just because, like, you do it for the love of the game, right? Who says that? So I'm not gonna say you gotta join the Discord. I'm just saying, like, it's happened. Shout out to hashtag YouTube on the Discord. But it's true, like, to some extent, People are like, couldn't you just do a little bit of the stuff that doesn't do well, just for old time's sake? You're like, yeah, sometimes. I guess, I've done like 8 years of the stuff that doesn't do that well. I could always do a little bit more. But I really, it's not like a knock on Monster Train at all, or on the many hundreds or thousands of people that enjoy it. It's just like some content, I don't think it streams that well. Like, the game can be great. It can even be like really fun to watch on YouTube, but when it comes to streams, people are like, I'd rather watch something a little bit more like exciting. It's basically what I'm getting at. And to be honest, we're kind of there, like, with Spelunky 2 as well, which is why I'm not gonna, like, part of the reason I'm not gonna dedicate, so much time on the stream forever to, trying to get Cosmic Ocean 99 is because of the fact that, like, I'm not that good. But then another part of it is, like, I think I'm reaching that kind of point on the curve where I'm like, I love the game, but people have seen enough, and people take it as a negative sign when I think they should take it as a positive sign. Like, people really don't they don't internalize necessarily the idea that time is limited, not just because of the baby, but in general. Everybody always wants new stuff, but they never want it to come at the expense of old stuff. And it's just like, it's not possible, So I think instead of seeing it as a negative, people should be more open to the idea of seeing it as a positive. It's basically what I'm getting at. Okay, we don't need the bow and arrow. Just make your own gaming network. Current events. Yeah, like, I don't, again, like, I've actually, like, so last week I was like, let's not call it in crisis, but definitely, like, some of the reaction to the new schedule, almost all of it was positive, but the stuff that was negative, like, a lot of it is kind of just, like, rude or just, like, ignorant to the real world, right? And people would really have some, like, and not people, but, like, a small subset of people would have, like, some very bad faith takes. Where, like, oh, the Spelunky 2 audience that loves bespoke videos got you to where you are today, and now you're selling out to play online trivia, right? It's a very, very small contingent of people, but it kind of, you know, when you read it, it affects you like on a personal level. And I kind of like, I got over it. And then it was really great timing, because not only did I get over it, but somebody on the Discord posted a video from this content creator, and admittedly I'm making myself look like I'm 100 years old here, called Star, but also Stir, who I guess was famous for making Team Fortress 2 content, but then like tried to break out by doing more ambitious stuff, and like just kind of fell out of favor with TF2. And you know, he posted a video that was like, this is why I don't make TF2 content that much anymore. There's just like a lot of people said like terrible stuff to him in the comments that, you know, they're supposed to be like, they follow him because they're fans of him, and they just say like real garbage stuff, honestly. Now, my experience with the elements of my community that maybe have the same value set, let's say, is much more pleasant than that. It's much more muted. But there was a lot when I was watching the video, I was like, oh, he's saying it. Like, what? It's so many things that he said for sure. I was like, I've thought that in my head like 1,000 times. When people were like, you know, if you really wanted to be successful, you should just like, you know, do this, this, and this. And he's like, why don't you fucking do it? I'm not like it's not like I own like the only diamond mine or something like that. And they're like, could you mine more diamonds? And I'm like, frick you. I'm like, I'm making unedited gameplay content on YouTube. If you got such strong opinions about the way it should be done, why don't you just do it yourself, dummy? Anyway. But you can never say stuff like that. Or I think it's becoming increasingly possible to do so, which is nice. But, you know, the kind of reality of the situation is like, if you ever, you know, 1,000 unaffiliated people can leave like really rude comments to you. If you make a rude comment to them, it's like punching down. And they're like, oh, you gotta have a thick skin to be in this industry. Yeah, like maybe. I don't disagree with that, I suppose. But at the same time, like, why are you being such an a-hole? Like, you don't cost nothing to be nice. Oh, that's true. It's because they do it with like an analytical mindset. You're not wrong. It's like they're not being rude. They're just trying to help by, you know, telling you how you should run your business when you've been doing it longer than like almost anybody else on planet Earth. Not to say I haven't made mistakes, but like, you know, most of the advice on YouTube is actually like horrible. If anything, and this is gonna, people are gonna take a lot of issue with this, but if anything, one of the mistakes I have made on YouTube is listening too much to the vocal minority, who very rarely wants anything to change. I think would have been like, and that's what's happening now. Is like I'm much more open to change, and I think it's leading to better and better content. But for a long time, I just listened to people who, you know, I'd be like, I don't really feel like playing, you know, Subnautica today, and then I'd start the stream and there'd be like 100 people that are like, no Subnautica, I'm out. Anyway, I don't think I'm gonna get that Child of the Forest, man. I kind of want to, but we only got 2 bombs. We need 1 for the black market. Minimum 1 for the black market. Anyway, it's not really a venting session. Again, like I said, I logged off on Saturday, except for like talking, as Bear said, about crypto in the Discord. And it was like, it was really refreshing and reminded me that the world is like pretty big and is not just consisting of people that like if I go out in public, not every second person I see is like, so when are the bespoke Spelunky 2 videos coming back, you know? Hey, I really like all this new stuff. It's the best stuff you've ever done, but can you eat some of it to like make more old stuff? But really, like, all I'm getting at is that the Star video, dude, it was like refreshing. It was like more people are more creators go through this than let on. And, like, I really feel like nobody wants to say it. Because if you say it ever, you're, like, considered ungrateful to your audience. So I thought it was refreshing to hear, honestly. And brave to say it. No, I'm not going to turn off YouTube comments. Again, this is like, I mean, this is another part of it, honestly. Again, I'm not actually upset. But you literally, like, can't have any sort of critical discussion about reception of the audience without people either being like, get over it or turn off your comments. Like, there's a happy medium. You get a little bit of a thicker skin and recognize that most of the people that are commenting are being positive about it, or they think they're being positive about it but don't know how to phrase it properly, or they think they're being helpful. And then also, if people could recognize, like, you know, it don't cost nothing to be nice. I think that's the happy medium. We're in a good spot right now. This, on the other hand, is absolutely screwed. I have no idea how we're going to do this without dying. Because it's down further, is it not? Or is it up here? Oh, it's up here. Okay. I thought it was down on the bottom. Saved. Saved. We got lucky. Anyway, like, there's no denying, for like a couple of days, I was kind of like cheesed off about it. I think that's obvious. But I kind of hit a point where I was like, you know what, the new content's doing great. People can complain if they want to complain. And I really put it in perspective, I guess, that like most of the people complaining, we're just complaining just to complain. And that's not even like a negative thing. People do it all the time. Oh, I just had the best meal of my life. But if I say that, I feel like a shill. So instead, I'm going to say, yeah, the meal was good, but the plate kind of was weird, you know? Yeah, the meal was great. I just don't understand why they served it on such like a weird plate. Like, shut up, dummy. Just pog up. I think there's also something to be said for the idea that, like, you know... Hold on. If you ask people for their opinion, you're going to get it. Is the other thing. So, like, why I was being kind of stupid. I was like, hey, give me your opinion on this stuff. And then people were like, oh, he wants my opinion. Well, 98% of everything's great, but I'm going to complain about something very minor just to feel like I'm contributing. And then I was like, why are you bringing up minor stuff? And they're like, you asked for it. And I'm like, shit. I absolutely did. So, yeah, no, I think this was an important, like, learning lesson. Like, of course, people were going to be... You know, they're going to have thoughts on change. And then instead of just... Because the reason I get annoyed by the comments that are like, I don't like the change, is because you know, deep within me, there's like some kind of like self-esteem hook that's like, I gotta please absolutely everybody. So if like somebody is being an a-hole from like, you know, I've never met them before in my entire life and never will meet them. We owned those already, didn't we? Oh, jeez! Then I'm like, I hate that I have to, like, please this a-hole. And I realized, like, if you just look at, like, the response, and you look at the analytics, like, everything's going really well. So, like, you're really gonna let, like, some discourse of... I didn't have the bow, did I? Whatever. These are aubergine attempts anyway, man. But if you look at, and it's not just like, because people, like, analytics are like a really bad, a weapon that people use for bad faith arguments, for sure. Like, when the way people talk about, like, oh, you're only doing it because it, like, gets views is crazy, man. Because, like, you would be like, yeah, I can't believe I sold out to do Fortnite build compilations. Wait a minute, never mind. I'm doing, you know, can you name the American presidents in order online trivia? Doesn't even make any sense. Anyway, it's not even venting. Like I said, I'm in a positive spot with it now, and it is what it is. Like, you know, we're through the tunnel, and I think it's something you had to go through in order to. Yeah, we will still get the Ankh here. I think it's something you got to go through in order to, you know, come out on the other side with a learning lesson, if that makes sense. No, it's like the safest place you can be. Comedic timing, please. You deserve the vent, King. But it's not. No. I actually like. I disagree. And this is not like I'm not upset about that comment either. But like, I think at the end of the day, you know, inside baseball is good. Last week there was just way too much of it, and it was like too whiny. And then I was like, people don't like. There's a subset of people that watch, and they're like, they care about the inside baseball stuff. But there's a much larger like swath of people who are like, I just want to like be entertained, so I'm focusing my efforts there instead. Is basically where it's at. I would really, and I told Dan this actually after Gex last week. I was like, let's do less inside baseball stuff. I feel weird about it. I feel like the strength of our partnership here when it comes to content is like, it's way more like weird banter and stuff like that, and way less like if we were gonna do Check the Wire, I would rather just do Check the Wire than like make Gex also check the wire, if that makes sense. I thought the Minecraft one was good, believe it or not, but I also thought like it could be better by playing more to our strengths. That's my thoughts on it. So yeah, a renewed focus on being entertaining. But you know, then we talked about it all Spelunky run, so just goes to show you, you know, you want to make God laugh, tell him your plans. Okay. But mostly, like, this is in many ways your fault, Chad, because if you had just given me the go-ahead on that frozen pizza slice idea, we could have been still talking about that. I don't know if you were here for that, Bear. I don't even know if you're here now, to be honest, but I was saying, like, a frozen pizza is kind of like a sad meal, which people took issue with, for one. But then I was like, what if they sold, like, a single slice? Now, I don't mean a slice like, you know, like a tiny little slice. I mean, like, a big honkin' slice, the kind you would eat, like, maybe 1 or 2 for dinner or something like that. People were like, no. They hit me with the Bugs Bunny. This seems safe, right? This seems normal. You want the same mass of pizza in a different shape? No, I want about half of the mass of the pizza in a different shape. There's something psychological about eating a whole pizza. It's like, even when they make like a personal sized pizza, I don't really feel good when I eat the whole thing. Which I think is correct. I don't think you're supposed to feel good when you eat the whole thing, but yeah, I agree. It's a young man's game, man. And that's the thing, Bear. Don't you ever feel like you got like an uphill battle sometimes? Like, I have an older demographic, for sure, than the average, like, YouTuber and streamer. And even then, when I'm like, oh, my bones hurt, they're like, oh, whatever, old man, that'll never happen to me. And I'm like, it's definitely gonna happen to you, dummy. You're listening to, like, you put your AirPods in, you crank the volume as high as it'll go on the phone, and then people are like, oh, don't do that, you'll get tinnitus. And you're like, no, I won't. I haven't yet. What do you think is gonna... You think you're, like, actually, unironically, you think you're built different. It's crazy, man. It's the same, like, sometimes I'll be like, hey, just give me a second. I have to, like, rework my computer chair so that I'm sitting, like, with my back against the back. And people were like, you know, oh, I put my knees on the chair, and then I just lean my chest over the back of the chair like I'm some kind of weird nerd AC Slater from Saved by the Bell, and it's never affected my back. And I'm like, yeah, no shit. You're like 16 years old. You're invincible. You like nothing when you're 16. There were times like I was 17 in my first year of college. I would drink like 9 beers and just be hammered. And then the next morning, my RA, like basically the student police of the dorms, right? They would be like, oh, how are you feeling this morning? And without putting on airs at all, I was like, I feel great. I'm 17 years old. My arteries are like so clean. Nothing can hurt me. And now, like, sometimes I wake up at like 4 in the morning and my stomach hurts, and I'm like, why does my stomach hurt? And I'm like, oh, that's right, I had sun chips at 4 in the afternoon. I should have known before I had those sun chips that I would pay for it one day. Anyway, you should, not everything, you know, I think you should enjoy the fruits of being invincible for as long as possible. But there's like little things you can do to preserve it, right? Like, definitely, like, I think posture is like an easy one. I say that because, like, I used to, okay, I gotta think about this. Dude, you know what? Because Bear's here, let's pay it forward, dude. Let's go to the temple. We never go to the temple. Time to die. What the heck is even that? Like, posture is the easy one. Oh, this is good. Like, I used to sit... okay. I would lay on my stomach on my bed and have my laptop, like, where the pillow was, and then just prop myself up on my elbows to use my laptop. And you're probably like, that sounds fine. And it was fine. I did it for, like, you know, maybe a couple of years. I typed up my papers like that in university and stuff like that. I watched movies like that, etc., etc. And even now, if I rest, like, a considerable amount of weight on my elbows for, like, you know, more than 30 seconds, it's like the nerves or the tendons or something like that are, they're just too short now, or they've, like, taken cumulative damage over the years, and they're, like, compressed. Okay, that's not how you're supposed to do this. No big deal, we just got 2 telefrag crocodiles in the middle. That hurts. Have you tried yoga? I've never tried yoga. I would be open to it, though. I feel like yoga's... Oh my god, really? Yoga's one of those things that, like... Oh, good. As a young man, you kind of, like, look down on. But the older you get, the more you're like, you know what? A low-impact form of exercise that could, you know, be good for both my mindfulness as well as my flexibility in my body is, like... I could definitely see it being positive. But then again, I am, like, also so inflexible. Maybe that's all the more reason to do yoga. But, like... I don't know if I could, Is there, like yoga? There's got to be a class that's, like, yoga for seniors. And I could start there. I'll start at yoga for seniors, and maybe one day I can get down to, like, yoga for retirees or something like that. Yoga with Adrienne? Yo, dude! Next week, let's do a chess lesson with Gotham and then a yoga lesson with Adrienne. And then I'll have the plain bagel on the show, and we'll talk about 6 investment strategies to capitalize on undervalued sectors in 2021. Alright, Spelunky was good, don't get me wrong. I apologize, YouTube, I did my best.